Miles, let's talk about the New Orleans Saints. First off, a huge victory last weekend, going into a big matchup against the Cincinnati Bengals this weekend. Obviously, the Saints are looking to turn their season around after kind of a rough start, a lot of injuries holding them back. But there is a massive move to kind of relaunch and rebuild this New Orleans Saints franchise that's been lurking behind the scenes. And I've got a story here I'm going to go over real quick, and then I want your thoughts on it. Before I get into the story, Saints fans, like I said, huge matchup against the Bengals this weekend. We want to hear from you in the comment section below. Give us your prediction of the final score of this critical matchup. Both teams desperately need a win. The Saints really need a win to keep a pace in the NFC South. Let us know what you think the final score will be in the comment section below. We want to hear from you. But Miles, here's a story that came out this week that I think is very interesting. So this is according to Fansided. Although he retired after last season, the New Orleans Saints still own the rights to Sean Payton. He may be enjoying his new gig as an NFL analyst for Fox, but Payton still has about 10 years of high-quality coaching left in the tank if he so chooses. His abrupt retirement shocked New Orleans, but the Saints brass was able to promote defensive coordinator Dennis Allen from within. However, this is a big part here, if Payton is to be an NFL head coach again, it is certainly not going to be in New Orleans. The New Orleans Saints actually still have Sean Payton's right. So if any team would actually go in and bring in Sean Payton as their head coach, they would actually owe the New Orleans Saints significant compensation over how the NFL handles coaching deals and contracts and things like that. All right, Miles. So this is obviously a bizarre world, right? Everyone talks about trading coaches, releasing coaches, picking up coaches, and teams getting draft picks potentially for that. Something that's not unheard of in the NFL history, but obviously it's a big opportunity for the New Orleans Saints. But what do you think of this move, and what could the New Orleans Saints potentially get out of a trade like this?
Well, Nick, I'll be honest. When you first proposed this topic to me, I thought to myself, okay, I've heard of NFL coaches being traded before throughout history. But then you ask, like, okay, you bring up compensation, stuff like that. Do teams get compensated for coaching trades? That sounds, like you said, bizarre. It sounds crazy. It's something we don't talk about as much. And I found out why, yes. Yes, they do indeed get compensated, and not small as well. And I'm going to go through the history. Let's go through the top three coaching trades of all time, Nick. And down at number 3, you got Bill Parcells when he was traded from the Patriots to the Jets in '97. The Jets wanted Parcells as their coach. The Patriots didn't want to let him go. But nonetheless, Parcells moves over to the Jets. But the Patriots wanted compensation. And what did they get, Nick? They got a first-round pick, a second-round pick, a third-round pick, and a fourth-round pick. So, nonetheless, they definitely got a haul for that one. But let's flip it. Okay, so the Patriots get their coach snatched away from the Jets. Number 2 coaching trade all time is Bill Belichick being traded from the Jets to the Patriots. So the Patriots get their revenge here. But they also got a first-round pick, a fourth-round pick, and a seventh-round pick for Belichick. They had to give back a fifth and a seventh, but I think, first and a fourth and a seventh, pretty fair compensation. But the number 1 coaching trade of all time, John Gruden to the Buccaneers from the Raiders. This one was crazy, Nick. They got 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and $8 million for Gruden. But Nick, I think this is the more comparable one because at the time, Gruden was kind of an accomplished guy, as a guy that had a bigger resume as compared, and a young guy that had a lot of life left in his career. And he reminds me a lot of Sean Payton. Sean Payton's a coach that's won a Super Bowl. Like you said, he has 10 more possible years of coaching under his belt. He's relatively young in the coaching game, and he's obviously a crazy good NFL coach. So they could be owed due compensation if anyone tries to go after Payton.
You want some cool NFL history things for you? So Sean Payton rose to prominence before he became the head coach of the New Orleans Saints. He was an offensive assistant under guess who? Bill Parcells in Dallas.
Wow.
So it seems like old Bill Parcells here is kind of teaching his underlings. You got Belichick and now Payton potentially working the trade magic for the coaches, which is certainly very interesting. You don't hear that happen a lot, but I think this is sort of a no-brainer move for the New Orleans Saints. Obviously, they give them a lot of draft picks and compensation over the past few years. They're in a tougher cap situation in some spots, so I think obviously Sean Payton isn't going to come back to New Orleans as the report I read mentioned. So I think the fact that they could get rid of him and get a lot of compensation in return would be huge. But there is one place that's recently opened up, and that's obviously the Carolina Panthers firing their now prior head coach, Matt Rule. What do you think about the Saints trading Sean Payton in their division? If the Carolina Panthers and owner Dave Tepper called Mickey Loomis, Saints GM, and said, listen, we'll give you a first, a second, a third, and a fourth. I think, and maybe another first to match the Gruden deal, something like that. So 2 firsts, a second, third, and a fourth. Do you think the Saints let Sean Payton go to Carolina for a trade like that?
Maybe if they like also throw in Christian McCaffrey, say here's McCaffrey as well. Let's do something unprecedented, throw a player in there. But that would be really interesting.
Yeah.
Peyton, David Tepper, consummate business professional. He may not be.
He's a hedge fund guy.
Yeah, I've heard him described as Jerry Jones without the love of the football acumen there. He consummate business professional. I don't think he has any problem doing a deal inside the division. I think he wants whatever's best for his team, however he can get it. Obviously, a name like Sean Payton's probably very enticing to him. If he was able to get it, he's done crazier stuff. They gave up a lot for Sam Darnold. They gave up a lot for Baker Mayfield. So they were able to do, they've done anything in the name of winning. So I don't see it outside of the realm of possibility for them to give up a few high draft picks, maybe some money, to get Sean Payton over there. So
do you think the Saints do it?
It depends.
That's the question, though, right? Because I mean,
it depends.
I think they do, right? I think they do. I think it's, I think that right now with their cap and their draft pick situation, I mean, they have the talent to win now, but they just need a few key players in some spots that could potentially win this year if they can just get healthy. I think they make that trade because remember, eventually Sean Payton just walks for free. His contract, I think, runs out in 2023 and they lose rights. So
Get
do you think,
something.
I mean, get something in return, even if it's to a division rival. I mean, I think they make that move.
Yeah, I could see that. It seems like they could definitely get something out of it, and I think it'd be a savvy move by the Saints. Like you said, before his contract runs out, give him to somebody who needs him.